Yes,
Okay,
sir.
welcome back everyone to the BTCfi Summer Hackathon Workshop series with Core. This is episode 6 in the series, um, and it's going to be focusing on the three of the sponsors of the hackathon, partners of Core. We've got TokenSoft, NLX, and Request Finance joining us as speakers, as well as Cameron, who is a contributor at Core, who you will have met before if you've been tuning into the other workshops. If not, just a little bit of background so far. The BTCfi Summer Hackathon by Core is live now. It's got 11 days left and a prize pool of 250k USD. So if you're interested in building dApps on the Core chain, or you're an enthusiast for the BTCfi ecosystem, then definitely check it out. There'll be links posted in the comment section. So check out the Dora Hacks link there to get more info about the hackathon and get involved before submissions close. A little bit of background on Dora Hacks for those of you who aren't aware. We are one of the largest multi-chain hackathon organizers and developer incentive platforms. We've been doing hackathons for almost 10 years. And so please follow us on our socials to keep up to date with all the hackathons that we've got. But we're really excited about the BTCfi Summer Hackathon. There's been a number of projects already submitted, and I, for one, can't wait to see what the hackers are building before the deadline passes. So over to you, Cameron, to introduce Core and some of our guests.
Yeah, so my name is Cameron. In this workshop, this is workshop number 6. Today, we're going to go over some of our partner projects, NLX, TokenSoft, and Request. These partner projects are in our ecosystem, actively involved with a lot of the community and people that are building dApps in the ecosystem. And this workshop is going to discuss some of those insights into what they're building and their relation to the Core ecosystem. So a little bit of background on Core. Core is built for users, 19 million Core addresses, 263 million total Core transactions. We build with Bitcoin, so we have about 56% of the Bitcoin hash in the ecosystem being delegated to Core, 265 million BTC value staked with Core, and we have a 2.3 million Twitter follower audience, so very large community. So in today's session, we're going to once again talk about NLX, TokenSoft, and Request Finance, their relationships to Core functionalities on these projects, and really what they're offering in the Core ecosystem and kind of allowing them to showcase what they're building. So we're going to jump right into our first partner, NLX, with Max.
Hey, how you guys doing? I'm Max. I'm a core contributor at NLX. We're building on-chain perpetuals backed by Bitcoin liquidity on Core. So, next slide. Yeah. So I don't have to tell you guys this. Bitcoin itself has been the prime asset for a long time in crypto. It's the main asset overall. And in the recent years, specifically in this bull run, we've seen that there's been an uptick in a lot of demand for Bitcoin utility. I mean, Bitcoin itself has seen a lot of different use cases being built around it. We've seen runes, we've seen ordinals, we've seen BRC20s. The problem comes when people are actually trying to use Bitcoin itself as a layer to speculate with their Bitcoin. I mean, the transactions are high. The fees are very high. The transactions are slow, and the Bitcoin chain itself, it's very capital inefficient. You're trying to trade these products at a very slow pace. You can't really trade them with the capital efficient that you would need or that you could get in perpetual products. But Bitcoin itself is still useful. Next slide. Bitcoin has seen the biggest growth as any digital asset has ever seen. We've seen over 46 million holders. We've seen billions of traded volume daily. And, if you compare it to like weeklies, volumes, or monthlies or yearlies, we're talking about trillions of dollars just off-chain and in-chain. And it has the largest market cap overall. But Bitcoin itself is still, like the main asset that we should be focusing on. Now, if we go on-chain, we can see that on-chain perpetuals, next slide, has been growing rapidly. We've seen over $2 trillion of traded volume total. And it's only been a couple of years since they've been developed. I mean, compared to their centralized counterparts, they're still very new, and it's still not taking enough demand, enough volume, but it's growing exponentially. The only problem with on-chain perpetuals is that they lack Bitcoin. Next slide. Right now, for example, as you can see in this graph right here, you can see that most most perpetual DEXs out there can only be used with stablecoins. Only 2 of them in this example. You can actually use the products. Between hundreds of products, you can actually use your Bitcoin to be able to trade. In most of them, you actually have to sell your Bitcoin or borrow against it to be able to do it. Now, how does this look like right now if you want to trade with your Bitcoin? You have two options. Next slide. You have off-chain. You go to BTC margin exchange with coin margining, where you could go directly to them. You could use your Bitcoin as direct collateral, and you could trade with leverage and with high capital efficiency. But you have all the risks. You have a centralization risk. You have a custodial risk, and it's permissioned. At the end of the day, if it's not your keys, it's not your Bitcoin. Or you could go on chain, but at the moment, most solutions do not allow you to actually use your Bitcoin directly. You have to either borrow against it on lending platforms like Aave, Coland, Avalon, or you have to swap it out into stable coins and use that to be able to trade. So it's very capital efficient. You can reduce exposure to Bitcoin, and there's also possible tax implications with the swapping in and out of Bitcoin itself. So it's just extra burden and very, very bad trader experience overall. Now, next slide. How is NLX solving this? NLX, our mission is to build perpetual products that align with Bitcoin. We're building perps where you can actually use your Bitcoin directly to speculate on these different markets. You can use it to long, short, bet on directional exposure with leverage directly with your Bitcoin and get all the settlement, all the P&L, all the funding rates paid to you in Bitcoin. Or you can use your Bitcoin to stake into liquidity pools into these markets to be able to earn a yield based on that. So basically, from all the traders that are paying fees from borrowing and from trading and from leverage, you're going to get a fee for providing liquidity to those markets. Now, that's just a quick overview about what is NLX. If you have any more questions, you can always just, you can check out the link that I have right here, which will have a direct Telegram link for me. If you're a builder, you want to build with NLX, you can always DM me on Telegram. Now, next slide. For the NLX track, we have subdivided it into 3 different subtracks. We have direct integration. Now, what we want to see is people building projects around NLX liquidity. We want you to build a product that builds your liquidity engine, so it'll allow users to directly connect to trade or to provide liquidity by staking. And these products could be many things, to be honest. It could be anything, really. It's just a new way for users to interact with NLX on Core. Now, this could be a chat-based trading bots. We've seen this with Discord bots, Telegram bots, WhatsApp, WeChat, whatever type of trading experience you want to build from a chat-based platform. We have composability as well. You can build a product that composes with NLX and other protocols on Core. For example, there's a borrow and stake idea where you can create a system that allows users to directly deposit on a lending platform like Coland or Avalon, borrow against it with Bitcoin, borrow against your deposit in Bitcoin, and then deposit that into liquidity on NLX. And there's also delta neutral core vaults where you can build a strategy that allows users to simply deposit their core, stake that into core native staking, earning passive high yield, and hedge that position with core perps by shorting it. So these are just a couple ideas, and if you want to see more in-depth descriptions about how to build them and what to build, you can always check the link or scan the QR code, and you'll be able to see directly more information about these different ideas and the track. Now, developer tools. We want somebody to build a JavaScript, TypeScript SDK on top of NLX. We already have all the scripts that you'll need on TypeScript on a repository, on their protocol, on their NLX synthetics. So if you check, if you check the QR code and scan it, you'll be able to see the links right there for our GitHub repositories, and you'll be able to see directly where you'll be able to find all the scripts to be able to build this out. We want to see somebody to build an SDK that will allow users to basically get an abstracted layer to build faster on top of NLX and have proper documentation for it as well. And last but not least, we want to see a data dashboard. We want somebody to use our subgraph to be able to get all that raw data and display it into a user-friendly way for traders and alike to be able to see what's happening on NLX. What are the volumes looking at? What are the most traded markets? How many trades are happening every day? And with added also, we want somebody to also add in to that to that data dashboard the ability for traders to paste in their wallets or any address really, and see the statistics for that specific address, like what is their average P&L, what is the average win rate, how many trades they have, and everything. So this is all just a quick overview about what NLX is and what you can build with it. So if you have any questions, again, always DM me, check out the link, check out the QR code, and you'll be able to, and I can't wait to see what you guys are building with NLX. So yeah.
Sweet. Thank you, Max. We're going to go on to Request Finance with Thomas now.
Hi, everyone. Nice to see you there. So the workshop's name is Boosting Financial Efficiency in Web3 with Request Finance. Next slide, I'm going to do a kind of introduction of Request. So we're here since 2017, first with Request Network Protocol, which is an open source protocol where you have builders building some DeFi product on it, especially on credit scoring, for example, or invoice factoring. And then we have developed a platform called Request Finance. This is a tool that is designed to streamline and document all crypto transactions. Our mission basically is to help businesses to get all the standards in compliance and help them to make the accounting easy. So what we have on the platform is basically a very straightforward platform where you can easily manage enterprise payments, manage your FinOps, make your crypto to crypto payment or crypto to fiat as well recently. And what we've done recently as well is like acquisition of a new accounting tool called Consular Finance. So it helps to translate basically all your on-chain activities into a proper accounting language to be able to keep track of all your activity and of course have your accounting clean. Next slide, please. So some pain points that usually a company has before using Request. What we see is like maybe a lack of good practices, a lack of knowledge, or maybe sometimes they're overwhelmed. But copy pasting wallet address, finding conversion rate on chain, reconcile manually as well invoice with the block explorer is time consuming basically, is not really reliable. You have multiple documents, you have multiple sources. At the end, you still have your spreadsheet, but you can keep track. You cannot really keep track of all your activity, especially if it's growing and you're scaling. So we decided to create a platform to help company to manage this in a streamlined way. Next slide, please. So first, of course, we promote good practices. With Request, you can track, verify, and organize everything in one place. No more Google Sheet, spreadsheet, all that stuff on the side. You get a document paper trail for all your disbursement. Of course, you have account payables and receivables modules with invoice templates on it, so you can basically use Request to invoice your customers or receive bills from any providers. So you can centralize everything on the platform and have one source. Also, you can grant access to the right person. We have a role management on the platform where you can easily access to approvers, accountants, different roles of the team members. And you have also a community that we have created called Web3 Finance Club. So you have a QR code here where we release this ultimate Web3 CFO guide. So the community is a side, but it's also about promoting good practices, helping each other, especially Web3 finance people, COOs, CEOs. That may have questions, doubts about practices. Of course, regulation is moving fast, and you have always new standards to respect. So, of course, you might have questions about tooling, about the way to do your accounting, etc. So that's why we have created this community, and now we have like 900 plus CFO, CEOs of the industry sharing knowledge, experience, tooling, and we also make real life event. So I think this is really a basic guide for having the good practices. So you can scan the QR code and you can download it for free, of course. Next slide. So with Request, you can streamline your operation, track, verify, and organize all in one place, get automatic notification, and scale your operation easily. What else? You can also have your payment detections. With the protocol, there's no more manual reconciliation. The protocol itself helps you to update the status of the invoice every time it's paid. You can hit hundreds of wallets with a batch payment. And what we have released recently is the crypto to fiat as well. So if you have a crypto treasury, a safe, multi-sig, or any kind of wallet, you can pay any bills, any vendors, and the vendors will receive like fiat currency on the bank account straight. So it's more or less a way to go bankless, or at least for a project that's struggling to get bank account, etc. This is also a way to access to it. Next slide, please. So yes, we try to promote the compliance side, of course, at the end, to help to make your accounting easy, audit trails with paper trails. At the end, the main purpose will gonna be like to have a legit business, tax payment, of course, and of course, if you are a clean paper trail and you have everything clean, you can access to investment round easily, because at one point when you try to raise funds, of course, the investor is gonna have a look at your financial statement and balance sheet, all that stuff. So that's why we try to help most of the company to manage this in a correct and streamlined way. And in the end, of course, it helps to more crypto adoptions for businesses. Next slide, please. So the relationship we got with Core is like we have integrated the blockchain on request. You can make payouts. Basically, any companies on the Core ecosystem can get paid in the Core token or make some payments on the Core chain. Of course, we're agnostic in terms of chains, so you can also use others. But this is a good way to go. Any kind of business, any business from the ecosystem can basically have transactions, claim grants, have bounties, payouts, even here for the rewards of the hackathon. At least you need a paper trail and you need some documents, so you can make a request to get the payment with the platform. So it's really designed for any kind of business, the smallest one to the biggest foundation, to just validate this mission, to have like a compliant and easy way to make your accounting. That's it for me.
Sweet. Thank you, Thomas. We are now going to move on to TokenSoft and Noah. So you can go ahead whenever you're ready.
Hi, everyone. My name's Noah. I'm the head of ops here at TokenSoft. Cameron, thanks for organizing, and thanks to everyone, the core chain team and foundation, the contributors that have made this happen. So yeah, I want to talk a little bit about token compliance, sales, and distributions. In a word, token launches. So yeah, you can go to the next slide there. Thanks. We see every token project basically facing three major challenges around their launch, and those are compliance, community, capital, and wanting to make sure that they're staying compliant, wanting to make sure that they're growing their community. Every project starving for a strong community to push things forward, and also making sure that they're able to get the capital they need to see their protocols come to fruition. Our goal is to basically help token builders focus on what matters most, because as projects are doing all kinds of different things that are their main value proposition, these challenges around compliance, community, capital are absolutely critical. But at the end of the day, not what makes them different. So we want to free them up, free their time and resources to focus on the things that make them different. There's a little chart at the top around like tokens launched per month. This is actually just on Ethereum, some data that we took some time collecting from a few different sources. You can see last fall when stuff was going crazy, there was a ton of token launches happening, but it is pretty cyclical, even within this market. I think we're going to see more token launches than even last fall. This fall, just from projects that we're talking to, it might be the most ever. There's been a lot of VCs that have been backing projects over the last couple of years and been waiting for the right time to do their launch. And I think a lot of them are starting to see an opportunity here. Our platform, basically, we offer software and services. Those are really two major offerings. You can see here the things that is included in those categories. We have in-app KYC AML, so you're not having to send people elsewhere to complete that. We can support all different types of token distributions: team token vesting, airdrops, post-sale claims, all different types of sales: private, public, community, whitelisted, KOL rounds, whatever. And then our services include foundation setup and support, the token legal structure. I'll talk about this more in a second. Marketing, we have our own channels as well as partner channels. We like to always do BD as a service, almost launch advisory for any of our customers. So we have, including the core team, 70 or more crypto native partners that I would like to make intros to for our customers to help their launches be successful. It's really hard to sort through all the noise. We have a managed compliance team in-house that can help users get through the KYC process, KYB, current investor checks. And oftentimes the automated systems will leave them behind. But we've got a team to make sure that they get through there. You can see here we've helped over 100 projects raise about $1 billion over the past 7 years. These are some of the summary numbers of what we've done. You can go to the next slide here, Cameron. Thanks. Just a launch overview. I mean, everybody's launch looks different. The events that they'll run are always going to be different. This is just a sample of what it might look like for projects with a variety of different events, like what the roadmap, what the go-to-market plan could look like. And you can see at the beginning, you got to set up the foundation. Airdrops could happen anytime along, really between setting up the foundation and the launch. Public token sales usually done a few weeks before token launch. Private sales of a variety of different kinds, usually done in the months leading up before TGE. Team investor allocation management usually starts, right before or right at launch, and then there's vesting for several years. We've got, and then even after the project's launch, there might be ongoing quest campaigns and grant ambassador programs. So we'll go into each of those 3 C's that I mentioned a second ago, and some of these events will reappear there. And then the one thing, going back to that, I'm giving Cameron a hard time on the slides. Going back to that, the middle part, token launch, this is often called, token generation event. The definition of this isn't exactly standardized, but most commonly when people say TGE, they're referring to when the token is basically going live for liquidity on DEXs or centralized exchanges. And usually some amount of public sale and an airdrop might unlock at the exact same time, kind of all at once. And if it's an airdrop, usually something between like 30 to 100% of the airdrops unlock to TGE. And if it's a public sale, then a similar percentage is usually unlocked at the exact same time. All right, let's go to the next one here. So on the compliance part, our platform, the foundation setup and management, what we're doing here, the structure we support is this Panama foundation that creates a token, BVI that issues, aka sells the token, and then the Cayman Islands Foundation that acts as the legal wrapper on an ongoing basis. Separate them out for different legal risk, also because there's virtual asset service provider laws in these localities. So it's good to have, just separate entities to do these things. You don't want to, for example, you don't want to sell the token out of Cayman Islands because then you're going to run into some VAS laws that make things extraordinarily. And this has really been the legal structure we've seen most projects in the U.S. settle on over the past few years, as well as some in Europe, but ones with strong Western ties. The other major structures that are often, for token legal structures that are often set up include Singapore, Dubai, or Switzerland, although Switzerland has become a little bit more cumbersome recently. And there's some talk of Duna, but it's just like a Wyoming entity, but that's super new. So feel free to pioneer that if you want, but yeah, not as many projects are doing that right now. And our reasoning for helping with this, we've seen projects spend more than a year to figure this out. It's been hundreds of thousands of dollars by the time it's all said and done, if you include the US Council, because they don't know what they don't know. And in reality, you can really streamline, templatize most of the process. It's pretty similar for most projects. And so we can help with, the documents that are on the slide here, as well as the services. Again, it's all done and making it easy for projects to go to market. On the compliance part, the KYC AML, as well as document signing, really this is any sort of sale event. You can kind of see what these 3 different phases and some of the compliance needs that are herein. But the ability to geofence, the ability to block people based off of different regions can really help minimize your compliance risk. And we're built to back into pretty much any compliance requirements that a project has and that their legal counsel tells them is okay, with just a very wide guardrails of avoiding OFAC sanctioned regions. We can go to the next one. Community front, projects normally before TG are try to build up community through a variety of different mechanisms. One of the big ones is quest campaigns and points conversions. So our platform will let you list different quest campaigns that you might be running with compliance requirements that you might want in there, as well as context about those campaigns. You can actually link out to third-party platforms, which I think gives you the best of both worlds, so you can remain discoverable in these third-party platforms, but then also direct users all to your existing community in one single place to make sure that they don't miss anything. We can provide geofencing, KYC, VPN blocking, document signing, acknowledgement, terms and conditions around the airdrops. And we helped, for example, last year we helped Connext with their, I think it was the first native multi-chain airdrop where users could select which chain they wanted to receive the tokens on. And then grant ambassador programs work pretty similar to an airdrop. You might just have things that you want them to sign and you're kind of filtering through the applicants, but basically we can help you can create the events in our platform, these grant ambassador programs. It might be ongoing registrations filter through the registrations, select who's going to be a part of it, and then you can distribute the tokens with automated vesting. Yeah, we're good there. And then on the capital front, we have support for a variety of different types of token sales that one might run. Whitelisted, the visibility is whitelisted, so only people with like a certain email address or wallet can even see that the event's happening to register for it and participate, as well as public and open sales. These are some of the types that we've run, as well as the raise amounts and investors that we've processed. I put up here these 5 different types of sales that we usually see projects run up until their launch. And I mean, a few comments on that I would just say is our platform allows projects to collect registrations for the events, but then we're not going to mandate when the event is actually run. So you don't have to announce a date until you see the registrations being sufficient. In terms of if knowing if you're sufficient or where you're at, just getting a temperature check on things. You can back into like your Twitter, like Twitter followers are a decent way of looking at it. So I don't think it's super, most projects probably aren't seeing more than 5 to 10% of their Twitter followers. And that's with a really solid community that's not botted or whatever, actually come through and register for a sale. Then you can estimate that. So let's say you have 10,000 followers. So, we'll be a little bit bullish and say you get 1,000 people register for the sale. Probably only about 500 of those are going to participate. And then from that, typically we've seen, depends again on the community and where they're located, you'd be able to see that in our platform. But the average purchase size for retail purchasers has typically been somewhere between like $1,000 to $2,000, although we've seen that maybe come down a little bit more during worse market conditions. So just run the math on that. You're probably looking at like $500K to $1 million raise if you have 500 participants, and during a bear market, maybe more like 250K to 500. These are some of the top projects that we've helped with their sales that got listed up here. So, we did the Avalanche sale, the Graph, Synthetics, maybe Macala. KOL rounds can also be something that I can move the needle, and usually see those purchase sizes be between 5 to 10K. Some projects put requirements around that, like they won't actually receive the token unless they do threads. Other projects just essentially, if you have higher quality KOLs, usually you don't have to like mandate stuff. Look at behind you. I don't want to take too much time here. Are we good on time here?
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Go to the next slide. Okay, great. I wanted to conclude. I thought I had. It doesn't matter. I'll just say the conclusion here since it's not necessarily on that slide. Conclude by saying 2 things. There's really, in terms of TokenSoft, there's really only one other platform that has our track record of success, security, and compliance, and the compliant launch pads are pretty few and far in between at this point. We're different in that compared to other launch pads, as well as maybe the few others that are doing, have a similar track record as us. We give projects the flexibility to run events on their own terms, run all these events on a white-labeled subdomain of their site, which filters out a lot of mercenary capital. And the cost structure is a lot more beneficial for projects and tied to their success. And in terms of core chain, all of our events and our platform is crypto native. So users log in with their wallets, their crypto wallets. And our smart contracts have automated token sales and distribution events that have processed hundreds of millions of dollars of tokens flowing through them. So thanks to core chain providing a vibrant Bitcoin L2 EVM ecosystem, we're able to really leverage and deploy our battle-tested infra to serve kind of a new user group in the Bitcoin community with minimal friction. So very thankful for that, and really excited about the future and servicing projects there.
Awesome. Thank you, Noah, and your presentation on TokenSoft. So we're coming up here on the end now, summary Q&A. So I'll hand it back off to James and we can conclude.
Hey guys, thanks. Thank you everyone from DoraHacks and from everyone listening to Max, Noah, and Thomas for that. Just a quick note that there is a link in the comments from NLX about their track in the hackathon. So if you're working on any of those, working on that track, then do feel free to check that out. Guys, just a question from me then with regards to the hackathon. What is it really that you're is there anything in particular that you're excited about or looking for in what the hackers are building? Don't know if you want to take that first, Max, as you've shared that document. Anything you want to summarize from there?
Sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, what was the question again? Sorry.
So you shared that document there. We put that in the comments. So regarding the track in the NLX track in the hackathon, is there anything you want to share from that to bring the hackers' attention to?
Yeah, sure. I mean, one of the key things here is that we're very excited to see builders, and not only just utilizing NLX as a liquidity engine, but also helping support the ecosystem overall by bettering developer tools and experience. So we're really aiming for everything here. With our tracks, we're aiming for people to build products that go directly for users, people to build products that help developers, and also for people to build products that help everybody see data on NLX. So it's really just about building an ecosystem around tools and trying to bootstrap that. And that's what we want to see. We want to see a committed and an active developer ecosystem around NLX. And we think that with this hackathon, we can maybe start bootstrapping that and get some of you guys started building on NLX and taking advantage of our liquidity engine. So yeah, very excited for it.
Sounds great. Sounds great. So yeah, check out the full document for info there if you're interested. Anyone listening? Noah, is there anything you'd like to add?
Just that we'd love to get in touch with any projects that are pre-token launch. We always like to make helpful introductions at the very least, and just give thoughts on what the launch plans are. Yeah, really excited to see what all gets built here in the coming months.
Cool, great. And Thomas?
Yeah, thanks guys for having us here. Yeah, but basically we are really happy to have Core as a user of request. Any businesses can use request for simplifying this operation in terms of grant, bounties, payments, etc. So just awareness, I'd say, about good practices and how you set up your financial stack. Of course, you can just reach out to us anytime to discuss this. And of course, we also have this Web3 Finance Club where you can easily get resources, help, and networking as well. So don't hesitate to visit also the website Web3 Finance Club.
Okay, great, amazing. Yeah, we're really excited to be partnering with Core for this hackathon as well. Just a reminder, the BTCfi Summer Hackathon is live now. Submissions have 11 days left. So check out the link in the comments if you want to get involved in that. And over to you, Cameron, for any final thoughts.
No, unless we have any questions coming in, I think we are good to go. So once again, I thank the presenters for coming, taking their time today. Thanks, James, for helping present as well. And I think we can wrap it up.
Sure, yeah. Any questions, if you're watching this on catch up, feel free to drop them in the comments or get in touch on our social media or communities. Make sure you're following TokenSoft, NLX Request, and of course Core and Dora Hacks. And if you ask any questions on there, we'll put it through to the relevant person and get them answered for you. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and thanks again to all our participants today. Let's see what the next 11 days of the hackathon have in store.
Awesome.
Thanks team.
Thanks so much.
Thanks everyone.
Bye.
Have a good day.